Hello, dear friends. Dolores Cannon said there is no need to look back when moving from 3D to 5D. There is nothing to be gained by looking back. The best is yet to come. Opinion piece. Prayer's head. Game theory. This is very strange. Hurricane downgraded. This is the October surprise. You are not in 3D anymore, says Kejraj. Let's start. The prayers of the warriors' flight were answered. Hurricane Milton was downgraded to Category 3 when it made landfall in Florida. Still, it managed to cause destruction, some casualties, and millions of people without power, but it could have been much worse. Hurricane Milton was miraculously downgraded from a Category 5 as it hit the Florida coast. Just as the hurricane reached the Florida coast, the eye wall collapsed, the storm splintered, and the Category 5 hurricane was suddenly downgraded to Category 2 or 3. Then headed inland to flood and destroy clandestine human trafficking tunnels. Reflections. Poet talk is convinced that prayers had a profound effect on the last hurricane. It seems that angels are once again behind close to earth to transmit prayers through their golden harps. Maybe the media was exaggerating. They like to do so, but now we have scientific access that we didn't have before, and everything indicated that this hurricane would be a horror show, and yet there were almost no deaths, except those caused by tornadoes. This was very strange. I recommend that any motivated human being direct their prayers for a change of leadership around the world, because it seems that the divine is listening more than before. Perhaps it's due to the serious nature of the state of the world right now. I don't know, but something is very different these days. Matthew warned about this. In quotes, they are desperate and tenacious, and because they need the low frequency of fear and suffering to survive, they will cause chaos and devastation during this last stage of the battle between the forces of light and darkness. Perhaps they will technologically cause natural disasters, produce a holographic invasion of monstrous aliens, or send mind-controlled individuals to commit mass attacks. Suspicions. Alex Jones' podcast on weather weapons was broadcast globally on Monday. Corporate giants were suspected of being behind the recent disasters that caused fires and the formation of hurricanes and tornadoes that devastated inland areas. 65 years ago, Disney educational films reported that hurricanes can be deliberately directed. This is an old technology that was shown in 1959 in a public announcement. The Storm Rider explains that we are in an operation to expose weather devices. He claims that Hurricane Milton has been used to seal the tunnels and at Disneyland, and that there is an operation underway to expose the general public that the weather is not changing, but that the bad guys are modifying it with their weather weapons. Game theory. According to the Storm Rider, this has been done by applying game theory, which consists of taking advantage of your opponent's movements to expose them and make them make mistakes. It is about exposing these weapons connected to the color agenda. Game theory includes several strategies that seek to take advantage of the opponent's movements to gain tactical advantage. One of the most relevant in this sense is the so-called baiting strategy. It consists of making moves that provoke emotional reactions and motivate the opponent to make wrong decisions, make mistakes, or screw up, and then take advantage of those mistakes. The goal is to provoke impulsive responses from the opponent, leading him to abandon his rational strategy. Situations are prepared that are apparently favorable for the opponent, but which in reality expose them to greater risks. An attempt is also made to alter the opponent's perception of the state of the game so that he makes wrong decisions by manipulating his expectations. Finance. To make matters worse, a global financial collapse caused by the cabal is breaking out. Although a quantum financial system is already fully operational, that will trigger the largest transfer of wealth in the history of the world. After the 10 days of darkness in communication, we will connect to a new quantum internet and the world will change. We have been promised the new Starlink internet system by the end of the month. There are teams coordinating this important historical event, and they are renovating the EBS to ensure maximum security for everyone. All communication systems will be sized to spread the truth. The old systems of government, education, finance, health, and trade will be transformed, and there will be peace and prosperity for all. Transformation. On Wednesday, October 9th, 2024, the 12 BRICS countries abandoned the dollar and paid 85% of their trade in local currencies. The old banking system is about to be transformed. The QFS will take over when the stock markets collapse. The elite cannot stop it. According to Gatteler, the QFS is operational and ready to free us from central bank digital currency and trigger the largest wealth transfer in history. The storm is upon us, and once it hits, there will be nowhere to hide. Crypto enthusiasts should prepare for the rise of asset-backed currencies as the era of Bitcoin dominance fades away. The big shift is underway, though much remains secret. The silent phase of this global financial reset is ending. On Thursday, October 10th, Russia called on its BRICS partners to create an alternative to the International Monetary Fund. The new global financial standard ISO 20022 will dismantle tax havens and hidden enrichment schemes. The world is about to be reborn. Nothing can stop what is coming. Positive signs. Finally, let's look at the signs that a wonderful new world is being born as the old order collapses. Researchers from the universities of Exeter and Hertfordshire and the British Antarctic Survey found that the amount of vegetation covered in Antarctica is more than 10 times greater than it was 4 decades ago. This is happening at the same time as the Sahara Desert is turning green. Two largely lifeless deserts are thus becoming hospitable for life. Could it be that the coalition is using weather modification technology to increase the amount and variety of life on Earth by creating new ecosystems? What other wonders would be possible if the same technology used to repress us is used to our advantage? How about immortality? Elevation. You are no longer in 3D, says Kejraj. The world is no longer in the third dimension. You are in the fourth. You have noticed that you do not need to die to transcend the third dimension. The shift is subtle and is still taking place. In earlier times, you had to die in order to enter the fourth dimension or the astral plane. You also do not see all the demonic entities. They are there. However, you are on different timelines of the fourth dimension, and your perception continues to expand, as does your third eye and your spiritual eyes, along with the higher heart. It takes keen observation to notice the change in the appearance of the fourth dimension from the third dimension. You must continue to rise in frequency, for this is not your octave or your destiny, at least for those who are aware of ascension, and for those who choose love. You will enter the fifth dimension, and once again the transition will be seamless. The scenario will be very different, as it will be a reality designed with pure divine light, reflecting the higher self of the earth, and your extrasensory abilities will be fully activated. According to Kejraj, Source is expanding through you and with you, as the galaxies are lifting into their next annular spiral. This is causing everything to move forward and rise to a new level of spiritual evolution. What is happening on Earth is having a ripple effect on all of creation. What appears to many as chaos, to you is nothing more than the emergence of a new light. Please maintain a high frequency so that you remain detached from the expressions of the dissolving matrix. Remember that you are here to anchor the higher light. It is not up to you to absorb the energies of chaos, suffering, confusion, or to have emotional reactions to events in the outside world. If you do, you risk being pulled into the denser planes of the fourth dimension. You cannot save the world. Let go of those thoughts. You can only offer your light, your love, and allow everyone to decide for themselves. Surrealism. Anil has described the bewilderment in quotes. Life feels very surreal right now, and I can't believe how fast time is speeding up. Today is Thursday, and it feels like Sunday was yesterday. I keep feeling this pervasive sense of anxiety, and I have come to the conclusion that it cannot be entirely mine. This must be the collective anxiety, because most people don't know what the heck is going on. I kept feeling that feeling of dissolving from the inside out. I feel like a melon, and my insides are being scooped out with a spoon. The reality around me feels shifting like sand, and my inner reality feels like I'm floating in a vacuum or deep space. There's only darkness. There is nothing to really hold on to. Close quotes. Finally, I'm learning to let go of the old 3D illusion, little by little, replacing it with 5D activities and people. It's a work in progress and can be quite uncomfortable at times. However, I know that it's necessary to let go of the old life I've outgrown. I've learned the lessons. I'm grateful to the participants, and now it's time to move on. Opinions. CBS News reported that weather control exists. Weather as a weapon revealed by Dane Wingington. Politicians capitalize on alarmism about weather change. The documentary The Diming claims that global weather engineering operations are a reality. According to Mike Adams, the globalist agenda is to destroy infrastructure in specific areas to make them and inevitable, thus forcing mass migration out of those areas to make way for their next occupation plan. Dr. McCulloch opines that if we have learned anything, it is that we cannot rely on governments to rescue us. Kwano Sabin on Red October and Halloween. Things are getting tough and we must stay the course. God is going to have the last laugh on the cabal. They are preparing everything to be able to interfere before, during, and after the elections. All this will go wrong because the manual is known and countermeasures have been taken. Where are we headed? Things seem to be falling apart. The instigation for this comes from above, from a kind of world government, according to Mary Maxwell. The Black Swan event called the October Surprise has arrived, altering the arc of the election according to such a file. The US share of the world economy has plummeted to below 15%. Journalist Bob Woodward said Trump has spoken to Putin as many as 7 times since leaving office. According to Poet Dog, the church fathers made sure to live out of the catechism, setting cardinal truths and enduring principles. California's effort to make all trucks electric is failing. They are too expensive and don't have the power of a diesel truck. Many local councils are using optical radiation weapons against people following the orders of the Davos Forum. First laser that exists the speed of light. Laser scientists at the National Laboratory Lawrence Livermore in California and the University of Rochester in New York have made this discovery, which opens up new opportunities for the advancement of laser technology and plasma physics. Letter from JFK Jr. on Telegram on Wednesday, October 9th. In quotes, as we stand on the edge of the precipice of tomorrow, let us hold on to that vision of a world where freedom and justice are not just ideals but realities for all, where our unity is our strength and our diversity our greatest asset. Analyst John Rubino has long warned of a massive financial crisis. Rubino says that with unstoppable wars in Ukraine and the Middle East, one thing is certain: chaos is coming. He explains that this is not going to be fixed easily. Get ready for a really interesting decade. This is going to be unlike anything we have seen in our lifetime. Nothing like this has happened since the Great Depression. All of this fits into what Rubino calls the dwindling trust horizon. Rubino notes, when everyone is lying to you, you get to a point where you only trust your city councilman or your mayor and your local pharmacy, and sometimes not even that. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.